Text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right. You don't have to adjust your dials. Phil Elson will be with us shortly, just working on some technical difficulties right now. Beautiful Tuesday here on Halftime. Myself, the unit running the board. And the champion is here. Everybody can chill out. You could see the relief. You know, they talk about joy winning a championship, and then you see the relief. I think 98% of the Celtics, I think, felt joy, and I think Jason Tatum felt relief. You know, it was they had lost a couple years ago, and just battling that storied franchise. You're always compared to other Celtics greats, just everything that goes along with it. And Boston winning a banner, hanging a Peyton Manning up in the rafters, man. Number 18 for the Boston Celtics. Their story franchise. Can't say enough good things about them and what they did this year. So, unit, they had 101 basketball games this year, all right? This stat blew my mind. 101 NBA basketball games for the Boston Celtics this year. They led in 50 of them by 20 points or more. I mean, talk about not even just – I mean, they were really the cream of the crop this year.
They were the all-around the best team, and they proved it in the finals. They proved it all playoffs. I think a lot of people were kind of doubting them just because they weren't as dominant as everyone thought they should be, even though they won every series like 4-1, 4-0, and they ended up winning the finals 4-1. So it's about the most dominant playoff run, really, I can remember. And they got the championship. They should be happy. The city of Boston should be happy and proud of this team. It wasn't a fluke. They had the best team. They could do it all. They shot threes. You know, nice to see Al Horford finally get his. I hate it that it happened against the Mavericks, but at least the Mavericks, you know, they're got a young little core there with Luka and Kyrie's. I think he's only 32, so he'll probably be there a little while longer. But next year for the Mavs, you know, to have the roster that they do for a full season, I think will do them well.
Well, I got some good news and some bad news for you, Christian. The good news is our champion Phil Elson's here. The bad news is I guess I should ask you what you wanted to hear first. The bad news is the Mavericks will not be back in the NBA championship next year. Okay.
Not next year. I would not predict that either. I would probably pick like the Thunder or somebody to do.
There we go. All right, Phil Elson. Hey man, I think we had a button on. I think it was on our end. We had a button off or whatever, but we're all good.
No, it's a busted headset over here.
Okay,
that's what's going
on.
There's absolutely nothing you guys did, nothing C-Unit did, nothing like that. But I do hear the sound of a sports fan who was, I think, resigned to the inevitable after the third game of this NBA Finals. And you broke good news and bad news. One of the things there, Matt, is an opinion. The other thing is news that I am back. The opinion would be the Mavericks aren't getting back there. What about the idea, though, of is this the start of a real run by the Celtics? Or is this a one-off like 2008? Because that felt like it could be the start of a run, too, with the big three. You got a big
Ray Allen here. Left to go to Miami, and then they were like disenchanted for, 17 years before they finally started being friends, or even like they wouldn't even talk to each other passing in the halls, and at least they'll talk to Ray Allen now.
Doesn't look like anything like that going on with this group, at least not yet. In fact, you know, I mean, and who knows if this is the start of something really big, but you're right about it. This was a team that was picked to win the NBA championship and most of the preseason predictions, unchallenged in their division, unchallenged in the East, unchallenged in the East playoffs, and then pretty much, I don't want to say unchallenged because they do win 4 out of 5, 3 of those games decided by single digits, although it did feel like when the Celtics wanted to, they could just kind of flip it to 11 and keep the Mavs at about 7.5. I think if they wanted to, Matt, it kind of felt like they could have done yesterday in Game 4, but maybe they did just want to win it at home. I don't know.
It was really a lackluster finals. It really was very one-way traffic. And Phil, right before you got on, Boston had 101 games this year. 50 of them they led by over 20 points at some time during the game. That's NBA games. That's not going down to the Y or playing Jacksonville State or what. That's NBA talent. 50 of their 101 games, they had a 20-point lead at some point in the game. That's out of control.
And then how many losses in this postseason? 2?
Three, if you count the one they gave Dallas in Game 4. They had 3 gentlemen sweeps and 1 regular sweep, so they had 3 total losses in the playoff run. Yeah, it was a pretty. I think it's already started. Now I know the teams have changed a little bit, but Boston was just in the finals 2 years ago. Didn't make it last, so it's kind of there. You got White. Did you see White get busted into the floor and his tooth broke off? Did you see that?
I did see that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Do you get that thing fixed before the championship parade or after? I would think that the parade itself could be some form of anesthetic.
Yeah, let's get it done right before the parade, so you'll have let's get it done while all the feel goods are still going on, and you don't have time to sit. Like if something sets for about 4 or 5 days and it just gets more sore, let's go ahead and fix it now.
Take care of that thing. I was looking at like the list of all-time stars for the Celtics throughout their 18 championships. And, I mean, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum going along with the names of Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, John Havlicek, Dave Cowens, Tommy Heinsohn, Bird, McHale, Parrish, KG, Pierce,
Rondo,
Ray Allen,
yep.
Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum going along with them too. Now, all those other groups, with the exception of Garnett, Pierce, and Allen, ran off more than one.
They won. You're right. No, that's the thing. You want to not be a one-off.
Heck, they ran off more than 2. I mean, the Celtics under Bird, McHale, and Parrish won 3, and wasn't it 11 titles under Auerbach and Bill Russell and Havlicek and that crew?
Well, the thing that you have to do is you have to keep adding pieces. The Warriors, when they did that, they went out and got Kevin Durant. When the Celtics were doing that, they went out and got a Bill Walton. They went out and got people that could, here's your role. You can play and you got to have some depth. And if you're looking at the Celtics, you probably lose Al Horford, which I don't know. Maybe he can still go another year if Porzingis comes back healthy. But his thing is he's never healthy all year, so you got to kind of get him ready. If you're Dallas, to me, is the trickier question, Phil. I think Boston, their front office, I believe in them that they'll make some right moves and they'll be right back in the mix. Philadelphia is I think the strongest competitor. You got the Knicks, you got a couple squads there, but if Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are healthy and they go out and get a Paul George, what are you going to do? But if you're Dallas, it raises some questions. PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. got to make upgrades. Those guys got handled. They looked at times. They went to Dante to Exum and some other kid named Jones, and they were bringing Jason Kidd's trying whatever he could do. PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. They Amber Hearded the bed, and so did Kyrie. Really, you look at those 4 guards. Kyrie had one big time game.
Did you see Kyrie after he was taken out for the last time? Handshakes, hugs for all of his former teammates, and I know Mazzulla was an assistant when he played there too. That came off a little bit odd. Now I know that once the final buzzer sounds and the confetti shoots off, they're not shaking hands with their combatants. So maybe that was the only time to do it because it's a celebration when it's quadruple zeros. But that did look a little bit odd.
He's the star in his own show, man. When's the last time Kyrie's heard the word no?
He makes his own rules.
I'm with you. Don't start drawing attention to he's making it about himself right there, and that's the thing that you don't do. But hey, that's some of the way I think that part of what makes him great and whatever. But yeah, he thinks he's the star of his own show.
So I'm gonna tell you what I think happened with my equipment here. So I told you it's been 6 days. I got a kitten to go along with my cat here. And I got a set of headphones where the cord dangles down a little bit. The little guy just likes to chew on that a little bit. I have a feeling he chewed through it because these things were not working. So you realize the most destructive thing on earth is a domesticated cat. They'll break anything you leave out. So there's the first thing. It's all right. These were just $40 or so. Yep, there it is. There it is. Look at that. There it is. Look at that, Matt. There it is. There is a bite right through the cord. That's why I couldn't hear myself. That's why I couldn't hear you. And yet C Maverick took it all upon himself. He thought it was something he did. C Maverick, you're perfect, man. Don't change a thing.
We almost had an issue getting on too.
Yeah,
that's what made me think it was something on our end. But I'm glad to know that at least wasn't my fault.
There we go. I was like, Unit, I can't hear what's going on. Then Unit hit 2 buttons, and he's like, just relax, man. I got this.
The last time I had somebody eat through one of my my cords, man, it was like Ty Richardson was puking up for 2 weeks after that because humans are not supposed to eat electrical things like this.
Well, or we had somebody baseball throwing, crow hopping some headphones in here. That was the last That's the last headset that's got. So
that was a C unit headset.
we've had
that wasn't
312 days in between accidents, but it's
Yeah, I was.
That was funny. That was an anger moment. This was not an anger moment. This was just a cat being a cat and maybe thinking it was something to eat. Oh, man. Well, I think we should have some fun today. Now that I can hear everything on a Tuesday, otherwise I would have to read your lips. Which, by the way, I don't know if anybody ever follows John Boy on YouTube or on any forms of social media. He had one of the funniest breakdowns I've ever seen yesterday involving the Seattle Mariners manager, Scott Service. I can't remember the name of the umpire who he was arguing with about the strike zone. You talk about lip reading. I don't know anybody that's any better on lip reading than John Boy is, because he actually got the umpire admitting through lip reading that sometimes he has, and it's a word I can't say, a crappy day, and that sometimes he's going to get calls wrong. So you can't do a radio show like that, doing one-off videos of arguments between managers and umpires. I think you can do that with. Halftime on a Tuesday. It's going to have Bill King, hour number 3, Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation coming up in about an hour. And after this quick break, we visit for a couple of segments with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett. It's halftime. We're back right after this.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie. Hello. Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back. Hello. Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit MedleyCompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool Super Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Say goodbye to crowded public pools. With a Doughboy Pool, the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above-ground pools up to $1,500 off. 18-foot steel wall pools only $75 a month. And semi-in-ground pools under $200 a month, plus a free robotic cleaner. Hurry into our Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland showroom to pick out your new pool today. At Burton Pools and Spas, we do more than build swimming pools. We build long-term relationships.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing. They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I ain't never been with a woman long enough for my boots to get old. We've been together so long now that both need to be so. If I ever settle down, you'd be my guy. It's a good time for me to head on down the line.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate a visit from the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett. We've got him on the McClarty Daniel hotline for a couple of segments here on a Tuesday. Good morning, Chuck. How you doing?
I'm okay, gentlemen. How are you guys today?
We're good. We're good.
Good.
NBA. A lot of people have said that the NBA playoffs were boring, and that the finals were boring. I think sometimes the word boring also goes along with the term dominance, with a team that completely dominates a postseason, because there's just not that much drama. And there really wasn't any drama involving the Celtics in the postseason, nor in the regular season, too. So which direction would you go there? Would you say this was just about dominance rather than boredom?
Well, maybe both, to be honest. When you don't have a rooting interest in either of the teams, you're not rooting for dominance. So if you don't get that, or if you do get that, you might think it was boring. If you're a Celtics fan, obviously you don't. It was a great season. The thing that I think that hurt the finals, frankly, was the long layoff between the conference finals and the overall finals. And then you had a one-sided series to boot. So all the drama in the NBA playoffs ended about 3 weeks ago. And there's really not been any drama since.
You see your boy Julius Randle up there on the mic yesterday?
I did not. I actually I've been watching college baseball. I've been watching the tournament and the World Series and all that, and that's what I was watching last night.
So they've had some of these players out there and they're talking with them, and you can kind of tell a little bit by their body language and what they say. Julius Randle's a class act, man. I would want him a part of my team. The way he was describing the game, the way he's talking about what do you say at halftime, it's like, oh, absolutely. Do you think that's a guy? You think Paul George is a guy that'll be a New York Knick next year?
I don't know. I don't know. He's I actually don't think that the Knicks need to mess with a lot. I'm not sure that Paul George, quite honestly, would be the right mix. Carmelo Anthony was a great player, but I don't know that you're going to win a championship. Tom Thibodeau's the real deal. I'm not sure in that regard. it sounds like Randall.
Well,
I would think Randall would come back.
Well,
or they would bring him back. Pardon me.
Well, no, and I Chuck, the only reason I ask is because you just see what you're going to have to get through. You're going to have to get through the Boston Celtics.
No, you're right.
101 games, and this stat blows my mind. I told it to Phil. I told it to 101 games they played in this year. In 50 of them, they had at least a 20-point lead, and it's just
That's
wild.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is an incredible stat. I hadn't heard that. Yeah, that's they were a juggernaut. They got a little bored, I thought, at the end of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes at the end of a long regular season, great teams will do that, and then they recharge and refocus. And every time someone would say about a team in the East, and I thought this about the Knicks for a little bit, thought about it a little bit for the Pacers too, that they might be able to give them a run for their money, but in reality, the Celtics were the best team all year long, and they're the favorite to repeat. I mean, I saw this morning where they're the overwhelming favorite to repeat, and I don't know how you could argue with that.
I think they got bored in Game 4. The result of that game, I think, might speak to that a little bit, considering how good that they've played all year long. Maybe they did take one game off, and you got a champion now. Is this 3 years in a row that there has been an NBA champion that has come from Arkansas? Jordan Walsh, I don't know if he had the last seat on the bench, but he was pretty close to it. Got in one game in the finals, and, well, I mean, he gets a ring. He is an NBA champion. I think that's 3 years in a row.
Well, we see what we see watching the games. And, when you're part of a team like that, you're going through it every day. So he may have occupied the last spot on the bench, but I'm sure that on a day-to-day basis, he was very much a part of that group. And so happy for him. And, what a way to start your career.
No kidding. But go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna kind of switch it over to the U.S. Open and see if you saw that U.S. Open and,
I did.
Just how epic that. I mean, it really was. I mean, Rory shoots 69, DeChambeau shoots 71. Rory had made 396 straight putts inside of 3 feet until that one. It was just. I mean, it's and the U.S. Open to do it to you. I thought it was a great battle, and I was just kind of like what you were talking about earlier and how Phil does with the baseball. I was rooting for a playoff. I wanted to see him to keep playing.
Well, I thought that's what we were going to have. First, I thought Rory was going to win it outright, and then he missed the putt. I don't think television does justice to the terrain of the greens in these tournaments. The key in DeChambeau's bunker shot was he kept it below the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And Rory's putt, even though it was a very short putt, was like right off the top of a hill and moving. And those are the hardest putts to make. So I just felt for Rory. I like Rory. I'm a Rory fan, and I'm not going to lie, I was pulling for him. But, this is – I can't imagine a more crushing defeat, and the accounts that I read kind of indicate that this might have been the toughest one of all. But, I was reading one of these golf data analysts that, crunches all the numbers. The odds of hitting a 55-foot bunker shot to within 4 feet, his was like 3 feet 11 inches. The odds of hitting it within 4 feet are minus 1.7. I didn't even know there was such a thing as minus 1.7 in odds. But in other words, it was highly unlikely. And that was probably as clutch a shot as we've seen in a major championship in a long time.
They're telling you that there's a negative chance of that happening.
Yeah.
It's not even a .001. I don't know how that works.
It's not one of those, so you're telling me there's a chance. I'm telling you there's not a chance. And he still did it.
That's why. So, this goes down in history as one of the great shots if it happens at a major on the last hole, this is
one of the best shots ever.
Of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the all-time clutch shots. When you consider where he was off the tee and, then obviously where he was in the bunker on his second shot, I don't think anybody thought DeChambeau was going to say par. Everybody thought there was going to be a playoff. I did. I haven't talked to anyone who watched it closely who thought after that tee shot, yeah, he's gonna scramble and make par. But he did. And that's why he's the champion.
I saw he's not even going to be able to play in the Olympics either because the Live Tour, which he plays on mostly, does not. Those points don't qualify for the World Golf Rankings, which is what they go by to decide who's on each. Well, I mean, those who subscribe to it, the U.S. Olympic golf team. So I mean, it seemed to me there'd be a guy who'd want to get out there, but. Has there been now? I don't watch golf on a consistent basis. I've not kind of lived through it, but I do know that there's been a change in Bryson in the way that he's kind of presented himself publicly or through the media, and I know that he's been one of those golfers that's kind of been, I don't know if I'd say a lightning rod, but you either felt one way about him or the other, and it really feels like this championship has gotten him in a lot of people's good graces. Also, because of the way that he took the championship in stride. I mean, he allowed everybody that he walked around afterwards to touch the trophy, and going on Golf Channel afterwards to work with the guy about the shot that he had just hit and coaching him through it. It just seems it's more than just a major championship. It's somebody that's kind of become more likable, I think, in people's eyes just over the last year or so.
I think sometimes we forget how young these guys are.
Yeah.
And that they mature, even though they may be athletic stars, they mature just like everybody else does. Sometimes, honestly, at a slower rate. But in DeChambeau's case, I think this is just a matter of a young man becoming more comfortable in his surroundings. He has been a lightning rod. And there were times that, he came across as a spoiled brat. Now I'm still not, I'm still not down with his live stuff. I'm not going to lie about that. But I do think that he has done a very good job of changing the way people view him. But I think he's doing that in large part because he's growing up, he's more mature, and he's enjoying the moment.
Yeah, and the whole tribute to Payne Stewart I thought was pretty cool. I wonder, Chuck, that to me, this course, and we had Clay on last Wednesday and he was talking about it, the rough was not penal at all out there, man. He was just bombing it, and it's kind of landing in the sand, but it's always sitting up, and you got to say you kind of get lucky, but it kind of, I get the greens or the defense of that track, but for me, a U.S. Open, you hit it you miss a fairway, it should be penal. You can't just keep missing. He hit 7 fairways. Something you can't just keep missing fairways and getting birdies. That's not a U.S. Open.
Well, there weren't a lot of birdies now. I mean, when the winning score is 6 under or 5 under, whatever it was, the trade-off there is the greens. If you'd put thick rough with those greens, I don't know that anybody would have shot 10 over, truthfully. The part in the missing the fairway there was if you got in that wiregrass, if you got in a clump, if you got in the wrong spot, it was deadly. But you're right. The course's defense is the greens. And, there were just so many times when a foot or two was the difference between staying on the green and, being 10 yards off the green. It was just amazing to watch. It was just a different type U.S. Open. The greens were more punishing, and the rough was maybe a little less punishing. But it was still hard to make birdie. I mean, there were a lot of one putts for pars out there.
Hey, we've got Chuck with us for one more segment here. We can open up the McLarty Daniel hotline, take some calls, look at your text. It's 877-377-6963 to get with us. And if you've been affected by the storms in northwest Arkansas a few weeks ago, your home undergoing repairs, can't get inside the house, can't live inside the house, think about renting or purchasing an RV from Crabtree RV Center. They can help you out also with any repairs to your existing RV. Just call them at 479-632-0829. That's 479-632-0829. You can also go online to crabtreerv.com. And stay with Halftime. We're back after this quick break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
At the toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality, price, and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear, and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey,
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
You're
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us as well as we work through our first hour on halftime. Chuck, you had said a moment ago you've been watching a lot of College World Series. Some people have said that the NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs were boring. The College World Series has been anything but. Almost every single game has been riveting. Most of them have been one-run ball games, too. Walk-offs. It's been outstanding, and it's kind of played exactly the way that I thought it would play, with Tennessee and A&M waiting both 2-0. And right now they're playing the best. I think A&M might be a little bit banged up, but it's going to be an SEC team again, I'll tell you that.
Sure seems like it. I thought A&M was impressive last night and the way they beat Kentucky. And Tennessee's just playing like a team right now that thinks they can win every game. And that's kind of the mentality that I see with their team. And they won a big ball game over Florida State, and sometimes winning that first game is the hardest game to win. And when you win it like they did, you can ride it for a while. And I kind of think that's where they are. But A&M's really playing well right now too. They're pitching really well right now, and it sort of looks like it'll be those two. Although I will say, I don't think there's a team on Tennessee's side of the bracket that can beat them twice. I do think Kentucky could beat A&M twice. I don't think it's likely, but I think they could.
I think they could too. But they got to stay away from the big inning. And truthfully, they'd probably have to hope that Jace Laviolette is not able to play with this hamstring that he's got going on. Look, people talk about Tennessee a lot because they were SEC regular season champions. I think the personality of Tony Vitello also draws a lot of eyes, and just the fact that they have been a fairly dominant program now for the last 4 years. But A&M has like 4 first-team All-Americans, and they have potentially the best reliever in college baseball in Evan Aschenbach. The thing is, though, and these are 3 teams that have not won a College World Series championship. I think one of those 3 is going to do it, and it's just as if it's a team out of the West, which A&M is, it just the direction you go with this here. You got Arkansas that wins the division, but you end up maybe with a West Division team again that wins the College World Series, and then we're all left rolling our eyes.
Well, we should be used to it because that's kind of the way it works in our league, and that's just, I think that's something that is because of baseball. I mean, just that's something that maybe is a little more unique to that sport than what you would find in, basketball or football or some of the others. It's we see it at all. If you can get in that postseason tournament, you've got a shot. And I think that when you look at the teams that are in Omaha, the vast majority of them, nobody's surprised that they're there. But once they all got there, it was very difficult to determine, which name you're going to pull out of a hat. But I do think the 3 that seem the most obvious right now are the ones that probably most people were picking when it started.
You were calling games when Tony was an assistant at Arkansas.
Oh, yeah,
that was a couple of years at least, right?
Yeah.
He has gotten himself built a monster there, and there's all these rumors about Texas trying to Wait for the season to end. I don't mean their season. I mean the actual championship to be raised. And then they get rid of David Pierce and then make a run at Tony Vitello. I just wonder, you try to get into somebody's head here. And there are some places where you think, yes, that's where I want to go because this is the cream of the crop. This is the Yankees of college baseball or the Celtics of college baseball. Texas is that. But what about the idea of maybe trying to build a program in your own image and likeness in a place they haven't done that before? And I just kind of like Dave has done at Arkansas. He took what Norm did and I think made it his own. Tennessee had a decent program 20 years before Tony got there, and then he's turned it into his own thing, which is, I think it's a monster. It feels like he might, I know it's still early in his career, but it feels like right now it might be the start of something even bigger than what he's done at Tennessee for the last 3-4 years.
I'd be surprised if he goes to Texas. I would be surprised by that. I think the romance of that job is past. I think Tennessee right now, I mean, ask any high school kid in America, including the ones in Texas, or at least a lot of them. Hey, who'd you rather play for? Tony Vitello or David Pierce? Or where would you rather go, Tennessee or Austin? Unless you've grown up pulling for the Longhorns, I think the answer is Knoxville. I would be surprised if he goes. I think Tony's done a great job there. I'll give you an example. I thought Tony won the game for him Friday night in that win over Florida State. He'd been riding those umps unmercifully the whole game. We saw when that check swing was ruled a no swing at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. That's why coaches ride referees and umpires all night, is to get that call. They were in the third base dugout. I would bet you $1 that if Tennessee was in the first base dugout, that'd have been a strike and the game would have been over. Vitello had been on that umpire all night long, and in the most critical moment, he puckered and he choked. And that's why a coach rides those guys from start to finish. He'd just been out and jumped that guy over that balk call. I was surprised he wasn't thrown out of the game, frankly, when he did that. I thought he worked those umpires for one moment. I'm not saying that, the objective is always to, there's going to be a call late in the game and I'm going to get it. But I think that what we saw on that call was a byproduct of all the heat that he'd gotten from the Tennessee dugout all night. Because, look, I'm glad Tennessee's 2-0, but that was a strike. The game should have been over.
Absolutely.
And to use a basketball term, he just swallowed his whistle.
Well, and so this hits on a theme that we, I think, focus on sometimes about you got to be lucky to be good, but then you've also got to take advantage of those moments that you feel that you're lucky. Tennessee was lucky in that moment. I think they were also lucky that there was a center fielder for Florida State that probably could have made a catch or two that he didn't make in that ninth inning. It's the same idea as Bryson DeChambeau. He got lucky. Rory misses a putt. He takes advantage of it. You've got to take advantage of those moments when something didn't go someone else's way or you just get lucky, which is what that was with 10. I think you're right. Tony did have something to do with that, but there's also some luck involved in it too. That's not a team, though, that I ever thought needed to be lucky. It's like, come on, any other team than that to get lucky.
I'll agree with you on that part. They don't need any more help.
That's for certain. That is for absolute certain. Hey, we got a text in here from, who was it? Wes and Harrison. He wanted to know your thoughts on Trevin Brazile coming back to Arkansas. Do you think he will start, or do you think he might be a sixth man off the bench?
That's hard to say. I was a little surprised, honestly, that that the announcement came that he was going to be a Razorback next year. Only because sometimes coaches come in and they want to start fresh. I wouldn't venture to bet whether he'd start or how he'd fall in this rotation. It's going to be a small rotation, it certainly seems like. And by small, I mean, 8 or 9 max. So he's going to get playing time, but whether or not he starts, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he'll be an integral part of what they do.
If he's healthy, Chuck, and he'll figure out defense, he'll figure out the kind of the spacing, and 100% he starts. I think he's just as talented
He
as
certainly
anybody.
could.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's upstairs with. It's just kind of maturity thing is what I'm saying, Chuck. He got to stay healthy, but if he matures a little bit and becomes a student of the game, man, he can. I think he's a first rounder if he'll just do it.
He's got the right attitude. There's never been a single moment, I don't think, where anyone has ever questioned Trevin Brazil's attitude, whether it was while he was healthy or while he wasn't. And Matt, you know this. You find out a lot about a guy when he's hurt, in terms of where his want-to level is. And I think they were just ecstatic over the way Trevin rehabbed when he first injured that knee, and it speaks to his competitiveness that he certainly played a good bit last year when he wasn't at 100%. So I'm anxious, number one, to see him play with full health, because we've really not seen much of that. And obviously a new staff and superior competition in practice every day. You've got to think that all that's going to make him a better player. But staying healthy is the first thing.
But I think you're right. The way he goes about it, the way he went about it the last couple of years, there's still some people up there that are Arkansas people that are around there. Don't think Coach Cal didn't ask about that and figure out some of that stuff before he.
I'm sure he did.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he did, and that's part of getting to know any new jobs, getting to know the people, finding out what makes them tick, and ultimately, deciding can this guy help us.
Chuck, we've run out of time. We'll leave it there. Thanks for hopping on as always on these Tuesdays. Have a great week.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you. See you guys.
That is Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks. You can download the latest Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. You can listen for him here on Halftime every Tuesday, the Morning Rush 3 times a week. He'll be on Ruskin and Zach on Thursday as well. We'll open the McLarty Daniel hotline right now for you. It's 877-377-6963, and we'll be back after this.
This is Halftime.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Oh, look, we got a few callers that have dialed us up. So let's hit the McClarty Daniel hotline while we've got a short segment. Take a couple of calls. Might only be time for one of them. We'll see. Cabbage Head, thanks for calling us today. What's going on?
Hey, Phil, you got it happening today with that bumper music, man, with Jet Airliner and Stuck in the Middle. You're right on top, just like you are in what you do in announcing those games. You do such a good job, and Matt's there, right there doing, and I tell you, make a couple of comments for I hang up what he was talking about when Chuck left is that you can't tell me that when Calipari was picked or was talking to John Tyson about the Tyson and the Tyson money entered into the thing, I don't think that he would give Arkansas a second look if he didn't look at that campus up there and see that that is a class act. And there's probably none, and I might be biased on it, but none in the country that has more than what the Arkansas Razorback has to offer someone. And I think Calipari, all that kind of one thing played on the other, but when he really got dug down and looked at the sporting, the people in those different, I mean, look at how many people we've got as number one up there on the hill, and how many people, what a great season they have in other sports. But I don't think Calipari would even look at us if he didn't find a fabulous place like now we have built Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the university up there. You know, I mean, it's good to have Tyson and everybody on our side, but Calipari, I hope we'll do good with him. Brazile, I heard what y'all were talking about. I hope that he can play with Calipari's style. He will be a better player if he can. But I hope that. But let me move on to. I listened, Phil, a couple of weeks ago. I'm a loyal listen to y'all, and about 2 weeks ago, you brought up with. Clark, Caitlin Clark, and you made a real good point. But You know, Phil, when you watch her play with that pro team, she just don't have it yet. Although she's a great player, she's talented. She should have went to the Olympics. I'm off on that deal. But you know, watching her play, and I got really interested in the women's basketball by watching her. But man, let me tell you, when she'd run that team in college, she could shoot the eyes out of it. But man, she would make some passes that you would just have to glad that you had auto replay, because she would flat pass that ball to the right person. Well, those pro people she's playing with, she don't have that down right. Those pro girls, those college girls, they all better pay attention, because guess what? The ball may be coming to them, but the pros aren't that way. But I just can't understand how those other players are trying to beat up on her like they are, and she has brought so much to that playing with people that call to watch her play, how they can treat her like they're treating her, and because you know people will.
Cabbage Head, we're right up against the break, so I gotta end the call there, and I appreciate you dialing in and everything you hit on there. I think one thing about Clark, keep in mind, she's been on that team for what, 2 months? You're not going to really be able to get a sense of somebody's tendencies and where you expect them to be at the exact moment after just a couple of months. Maybe give it a little bit of time, and you'll see those passes back. Second hour of halftime in just a moment.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. We will see a chance of a few showers or storms. Our high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy and overnight low in the upper 60s. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, a high right around 85. And then Thursday, partly cloudy, highs near 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 72 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime, hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and the C Unit. You're not going to be C Maverick anymore. Maybe C Psycho when we get later on in here. Are you be all right with that?
He liked that one.
C Psycho.
Seems like we might have a winner in his case here. He's been C Music, C Movie, C Maverick, C Unit. Have I missed out on any others? C Psycho actually rolls off the tongue nicely. Not a lot of people would be okay with that nickname. Sounds like he wants it.
I embrace it.
He is embracing his inner
Christian Bell,
Huey Lewis fan, isn't he? Yeah. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963.
He's either Paul Newman or Patrick Bateman. I don't know. He's trying to figure. Either way, I'm at Paul Norman's house, so call me back.
72 Days. It's Paul Norman. Huh? I do need to watch this movie. If he watched it, and once there's 2 games today. There might be 1 game tomorrow. No more NBA Finals. I think tomorrow I'm going to have to put American Psycho on again.
When they're in the other house, and he's like, "That's very expensive bottle of Chardonnay, and you're not drinking it." She's like, "Come to Paul Norman's house," because she can't remember that's Paul Allen, Paul Newman. You got William Dafoe crushes it. It's a good.
Are you excited? Are you excited to hear his review of it? Not doing it now. We'll do it later in the second hour because we got Alyssa Orange coming up soon. Because I know that's on your short list of. And by the way, Matt Jones has the longest short list of movies that he has seen, probably 100 times each.
That was just me jotting down stuff in 10 minutes. There's probably 50 more up there.
There's more.
Later on, I was like, "Oh, I've seen this one too. I like this." Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I think he watched it with his pops, so I want to get a dual review.
That's good. It's a father-son movie, isn't it?
Ended up watching it with my wife.
Okay, we still get a double review though.
But yes,
would she be okay with the C Psycho nickname? C Disappointed? Yeah, that's what Brandon thinks. You could be C Sadman. B likes that one. That works for the day after your team loses in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I almost wanted to go Psycho, but yeah, after Game 3. Like you said, it was just kind of.
4 gave you a little hope, though. That was the biggest win in finals history by a losing team. Maybe even by an ever team.
They outscore Boston throughout the series based on that one game. I know they did over the first 4. I don't know. I don't remember what the total was, but it's like it reminded like the 1960.
They
World
lost by
Series.
18 last night, so I don't know. At least 18. I think it was close to 20. I'd have to look at the score again.
Well, in a 5-game series where you win only one of them, that would be one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah, 88-106.
I want to take a phone call from Double D, and then I got something else I wanted to get to with you, Matt. Here, Double D is on the McClarty Daniel hotline. What's up, Double D? How are you?
Hey, great. Got a couple questions, and I'll hang up.
Shoot.
Is there any concern about the guys we're getting in the portal being able to hit SEC pitching? And second question, who you got, A&M or Tennessee?
Right now, I'd go Tennessee. A&M's got some injury concerns that I'd be worried about. I thought they'd be able to overcome the injury to Braden Montgomery, and part of that is because of Jace Laviolette. But if Laviolette can't play, if that hamstring affects him at all, and they're down one of their best relief pitchers too in Shane Sadeo, then I'd go with Tennessee. But if both teams were healthy, the way that they built, I probably would take Texas A&M. I think they are the most complete team when they're healthy. But they're not completely healthy, so that's also partially what this is about. As far as the transfers coming in, well, there's always going to be that question when you have players coming in from the A-Sun or the Horizon League or any of the junior college players that are coming in too. There will always be that question whether or not they can that those numbers translate to the SEC. And right now, the answer I would have for you is I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched these guys play, but they're not just going off numbers. They're going off of tape. They're going off of conversations with other coaches. I'm talking about the Arkansas coaches. They're not just picking somebody out of the portal because they have good numbers. There are some other things that have to go into it. So I would expect that they believe that there might be a bit of a process to get used to it. But that's why these kids want to come play at Arkansas or any other SEC school, because this is where you challenge yourself in a way that, as good as baseball can be in the A-Sun or in the OVC or in the Southland or the Sun Belt or any of the other conferences, and there are great players in every conference. It's the depth that you face pitching-wise when you're a hitter in the SEC that you want to challenge yourself against. So, yes, there are those concerns, but they're natural concerns, and I wouldn't take looking at somebody that had great numbers at a lower level conference previously and it didn't translate to the SEC and think that that's always the way that it works out, because it just doesn't. But yeah, I mean, it's a legitimate concern to bring up. Matt, I did want to mention this because a few people have texted in about this. I knew this from, I think, at least a month and a half ago or something, but the university announced it today. Congratulations, Hall of Honor. You're being inducted into the Arkansas Hall of Honor the day before the UAB football game on September the 13th. I don't know what else to say other than it's very well deserved, and I'm excited for you, and congratulations.
Pretty cool. Yeah, they got a good list of people.
They do. You're going in. You're going in with some stars, man.
I don't have to worry about saying much. That's right. Just sit back and listen to the stars go talk. Exactly.
Well, it's as well deserved as anything, and I know it's kind of uncomfortable talking about yourself in this situation, but you're going in with Raven Caldwell, Alex Collins, Matt Hemingway, Kareem Reed, DVH, Devin Wallace, David Walling, and Wendy Willits. I mean,
it must have been a misprint.
It's like a who's who list right there.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know how my name got on that list. That's a great list right there to be a part of. How pretty cool.
Wow, well deserved, very well deserved. Let's take a couple of calls before the break, and Alyssa Orange comes up shortly. Charlie is here. Hey, Charlie, what's going on? How are you?
I am awesome. Congratulations is in order for you, Matt. You definitely deserve it, man. I mean, but Phil, how long? What is it like? Is there a time frame on this? Is like when someone can qualify to be inducted into the Arkansas Hall of Fame?
I don't really know. I don't really know how long you got to wait. I mean, in some cases, Raven Caldwell played at Arkansas in I think it was the mid '80s. Alex Collins, of course. I mean, I think that might be for different reasons, obviously, because it's posthumous. So, I mean, Kareem Reed, this guy was the point guard of the national so it's like, well, maybe that could have happened early. I don't know. I don't know what goes into it, or if there's a wait that you got to wait, but it's everybody that's on this list deserves it, and some of them have been waiting a long time.
Yeah, because I was going to throw in the phrase about what time, but since you throw those guys in there, I guess I really can't say it for you, man. I was going to say it, but can't do it. But at the same time, man, I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Like man, you could just sit back and chill with that class. Just let them do all the. Do you even have to dress up, bro? Just show up,
I just show up and look pretty. Nobody will be looking at me. That's exactly right.
Too. It'll be well done. You'll do well. You'll do very well with that.
240-pound guy standing there. I don't know though. They might see that guy standing out. But yeah, happy for you, man. And anyways, yeah, Alyssa's coming on here. I'm excited today. So Florida State, they play today, right? Man, I hope they get another shot at I want to hear her reaction, Phil. You got to ask her about the game the other day against Tennessee, and I know you will. So, and C Unit, I'm gonna throw another couple in there, man. You got to do this one, Phil. C Maestro, C Money. Those are pretty good too. I know I can't be choosing nicknames, but anyways, I know I got another one on here, so I'll get off. Congrats, Matt. Good job, man.
Thank you, Charlie.
How about CBD?
Yeah.
That's a
Someone
good one.
said seaweed.
No. You can't. That's not good.
No, CBD could work pretty well.
CBD?
If only you had, if only your middle name was Bruce and your last name was Dasher, and this would be the greatest set of initials.
C
you could
Unit.
possibly have.
You got it going on.
You could be Thomas Henry Cowling. That could work for you in a different direction. Cecil's up next. Hey, Cecil, how are you?
Hello?
Hey, Cecil, what's going on?
Hey,
You're
guys,
halftime. Yes, it's you.
I'm in here talking to Stick, old Ron Brewis, man. He getting on my nerves. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hey, guys, I just want to say, a plus, Jordan, he got a ring, and that just adds to the portfolio, to the Coliseum, and to the brand of the Razorbacks. That's great. I was actually, I didn't forget about him, but when I saw his bald head, I saw him putting the hat on, I'm like, wow, that's all right. Man, I think and I'm asking both of y'all, Phil and Matt, about the final 8 teams. You know, sometimes it's the matchups, because it was some teams in the final 8 was better than Dallas. Well, I take that back. Dallas was in the finals, but would have gave Boston a better matchup and possibly beat them. And I just want to ask, what teams do y'all think? And I'll hang up and listen.
You're right, Cecil. It is about matchups, no question about it. So the team that I know that played Boston more than once and had a winning record against them was Denver. Denver was 2-0 against Boston this year. That's who I thought the matchup was, because they had those guards. Denver's bigger. You know, none of those guards can guard the Joker, but nobody can guard the Joker. With Kristoff out, yeah, that Denver just ran out of gas. They had a bad matchup against the Timberwolves, and the way it kind of worked out, that it was just a bad. But Boston's so good, honestly. Boston's a bad matchup for 98% of the teams they play. I mean, there might be one team that it's kind of a little bit, but Boston would have been a bad matchup for any team this year.
All right, Cecil, it's good to hear from you today. Thank you very much. And now we'll take Pinto's phone call, and then we'll go to Alyssa Orange. Pinto's next on the McClarty Daniel hotline. I'll spit it out, Pinto. Take it away.
All right, man. I just got one question. I've asked you about these baseball terms before, and I've heard you say it, and I heard a guy say it the other day. When the batter hit the ball on the screws. Now, where does that come from?
I don't know where it comes from. It just means he hit the crap out of the ball, as far as I know.
Well, I know that, but I'm just kind of curious.
So would the question be, hit it on the screws on the ball, or is the screw on the bat? Because I would think if you screw through a bat, it's right through the barrel.
Well, in an old golf club, the screws are right. So you hit it right on the screws, and it means you hit it perfect.
So maybe that's a golf term that's been repurposed into baseball.
Exactly, it's an old term, yeah.
That's the kind of golf clubs I learned to play on. The kind of those
persimmons.
old persimmon heads with the little screws in them. You're right. Maybe that's what it is, Matt. All right, guys. Thanks.
Look at you, Matt. You're teaching me the baseball terms now. I had no clue.
Oh, you know what they say. I don't know what I'm doing. Just happy to be doing it.
I don't know what it is they say, to be quite honest. I do know they say.
They talk a lot, though.
They do. They say a lot of things, and sometimes I don't know what they mean. Alyssa Orange is not one of them. She's one of us, and she'll join us here on Halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have been?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered.
All the trees were in bloom. That sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can feel it, yeah. Blossom, there.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Ready to go on the McClarty Daniel hotline is Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange. We always appreciate Alyssa every Tuesday. About 50 minutes until first pitch? 49 minutes right now until first pitch. You think Florida State is the season going to extend today? What do you think?
I have a good feeling about today. Look, here's the deal. I think Florida State has an offense that is capable of winning. I always just get nervous with the pitching staff, and that's what happened on Friday, and everyone blowing on my phone. And I was like, well, if you've watched this team all year, I've seen this happen multiple times. The bullpen is just not very strong. And against an offense like Tennessee, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to pay for those mistakes. But if they can get a good outing from Andrew Armstrong to start it off so they don't have to go to the bullpen early, I'm feeling good.
Jared's done an amazing job at this team. And I'd forgotten about the idea that he executed one of the greatest upsets in Super Regional history with the win over Tennessee when he was the Notre Dame head coach, and now he's completely resurrected Florida State from missing the ACC tournament. Never mind, I forget how many years they'd made the regionals, but then they miss out on the ACC tournament and then get to Omaha. Yeah. So regardless of what happens today or in the near future, it's a great year for the Seminoles.
Yeah, it is, and like you said, I think it was a 43-year consecutive snap, unfortunately, last season when they did make the ACC tournament, and they started off hot. I remember last year after watching Arkansas play TCU in Arlington, FSU went to TCU and took 2 of 3 from them, and I was like, okay, this team is pretty good. And then the wheels just kind of fell off, and they were in games. They just didn't know how to finish games. It's the complete opposite this year, and it's been really fun to watch because I think that college baseball is better when FSU is good. And I'm a little biased, but I just think overall for the game, to see the Noles back in Omaha. And I'm excited because I also think that Link Jarrett, if you've listened to his press conferences, has his own personal mission of winning a title for Mike Martin that he couldn't win for him when he was alive. And I think that FSU's got a really good chance to finally break through and win a national title in college baseball at some point, whether it be this year or in the coming years, with Link Jarrett leading this team. So it's exciting.
I was texting Alyssa during the Super Regional. I left you alone during the game, the early game that you played against Tennessee.
You're one of the only people, and I appreciate you for that.
I figured you were going to get blown up there, but I imagine you had to have the same reaction on the check swing. Charlie wanted me to ask you. I'm sitting there with my mom and my daughter. We're watching the game, and all of them. It's like my daughter doesn't realize that she knows in her own mind what a check swing should look like and what it shouldn't look like from all the years watching, because she said, that looked like a swing, Dad. I said, you and everybody else except the umpire and the other team wearing orange thought that.
Yep, and it was not a check swing. So that would have been strike 3. That should have been the game, and things would be different in Omaha. But I've also come to terms with, Tennessee overthrew first base a lot in that game. And there was that one inning where Jackson West should have scored, but he went back because he missed third base. And then there was the relay home, which the Tennessee guy was out by about 3 feet, and the ball just hit his knee and, ricocheted off. So many other things could have changed the trajectory of that game. And, yes, that one specifically dictated the outcome, because if that didn't happen, they win the ball game. But this game affects me enough. I slept like crap on Friday night, just subconsciously, so emotionally, just what happened. So I was like, I can't let this game affect me anymore. I just got to let it go and move on. But it was really, really tough. It's still tough because they keep bringing it up. Of course they do. So. Well,
they're going to bring it up. They're definitely going to bring it up.
There's already been at least 2 Arkansas, Oregon State balls in the drop balls references already, and that was back in 2018. So of course they're going to bring it up.
I can't.
They bring everything up.
Alyssa, I can't think of the 2024 Olympics and not think of you and how cool that is. You get to go over there. I was watching some of the Olympic trials of the swimming, and I thought that was pretty cool. They had a girl that was she had or I guess a lady in 2000 she tried out for the Olympics and made it, and then she was 40 years old and was at this Olympic trials, which was pretty cool. I didn't know if you'd been watching any of the swimming that's been going on, and I know the June 24th is when the track events get going. Are you going out there? Will you be? How many Arkansas people are going out there?
A ton, not just current Razorbacks, but former Razorbacks, and then people who train here in Fayetteville. There are a lot of athletes who train here in Fayetteville that did not go to Arkansas because of the coaching staff and the facilities here. So there's going to be a lot of ties to Fayetteville over there in Eugene. I'm not going because I was going to go, but then I didn't know what was going to happen with baseball season in Omaha. And so I ended up not going. We've got a station in Portland who's going to do some coverage of it for us. But the swimming's been really, really fun. And Finn loves it. Finn loves watching the swimming. He came home from VBS last night and was like, Mom, I want to watch the swimming. And I was like, okay. So we turned the swimming on, and it's been fun because it's so exciting. Quick, short races, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot about these new up-and-coming swimmers, and, of course, the legends like Katie Ledecky and all of those who are looking to try to qualify for the Olympics again. And I've enjoyed it. I'm excited about track. I'm excited about gymnastics. And, I was even looking at the golf. They announced the golf today and, for the men. And so, Maria Fossey and Gabby Lopez going to play for their home country of Mexico as former Razorbacks, too. So there's a lot of Razorbacks representing a lot of sports for other countries that you got to keep an eye on, too. By the way, Matt, congratulations on your Hall of Honor nod. I got that email today, too.
Yeah, thanks, Alyssa.
Yeah.
It was well-deserved as anything, I think.
Yeah. To be quite honest, I was like, about time.
Absolutely. So I wanted to hit on the Olympics again here for some other stuff. Sometimes we in the conversation about the change in college sports, it's all focused on football and basketball. Some schools throwing baseball in there, and then the other aspect of the conversation is what happens to the Olympic sports. The going theory is there are going to be some sports that are dropped. And this, the American college sports system, just think of the countries that you had mentioned of athletes that are just at Arkansas and from where they're from and how they're representing their countries on the international stage. And they wouldn't be able to do that potentially without coming over here and getting some of the best coaching in the world and playing at Arkansas and in the SEC. It definitely feels like, that is an aspect that could affect international sports in a way that I don't know if people are thinking about too much, because we're focused on the money in football and the amount of teams that make the playoff and whether the NCAA tournament's going to change and all of that. But really the reverberations, if you lose any amount of Olympic sports from some of these big athletics departments, I mean, the reverberations are felt much more internationally, I think, than we even think about.
Absolutely, and I think, too, and it's about having the money to bring the athletes, regardless of where they live, where they come from, and bringing them over here to play on the collegiate level. And you look at the men's golf team and the women's golf team at Arkansas, so many international players on those teams. Tennis, for example, swimming, too. Anna Hopkin is going to be swimming for Great Britain, again, for her second Olympics. She won gold 4 years ago, or really 3 years ago. But you're absolutely right, and I love that you bring that up because it was a topic of conversation at the U.S. Summit about how important collegiate athletics are for the Olympic sports and for the USOPC to have a big push on making sure that those Olympic sports remain at the college level with everything else that's going on. And I talked to Neil Harper, the head coach for Arkansas swimming, today and asked him, and he goes, just look. When you're watching the Olympic trials, look at how many people are wearing caps with an SEC logo on it. Even Katie Ledecky is swimming with her Gators cap on, right? It is. If you're swimming in the Olympic trials and swimming against the best in the world, well, guess what? You probably swam against them at the NCAAs, and you probably swam against them at the SEC championships. And that's how important collegiate athletics are for these Olympic sports. We did a story a few weeks ago in the company about 3 shooters from Ohio State who are on their shooting team who are going to be on the Olympic team. You think about hockey, field hockey. There are girls, because field hockey is so big in the Northeast, Maryland, Penn, Syracuse, all of this. But, that's an Olympic sport. And those girls played collegiately so they could be ready to play on the Olympic level. And those are things that get lost, but it's almost like, if there were a minor leagues of Olympics, right? Yep. Gymnastics is different because most gymnasts actually go to the Olympics before they go to college. Now, some of them weren't even going because they competed before they were even eligible to go to college. So it's one of those things that they have to keep in mind, and I'd be interested to see if we ever see the big three, right, football, basketball, baseball, break away and do their own thing on the collegiate level, and the NCAA just runs your Olympic-esque kind of sports. And if that changes, if it makes it more balanced and fair, but it's going to be really interesting and kind of scary, I think. I think we're safe to say it could be scary for some of these sports where, you're not competing unless you played the sport in the collegiate level. Where can you go? Taekwondo, CJ Nicholas, going to do a story on him soon. He's a Taekwondo artist who is going to be on the Olympic team for the United States. But he was able to compete in college. You can't forget about those guys either.
All right, last thing before you leave. The Dodgers are going to be all right without Mookie Betts. He is the most important player on that team. He's out for at least, I think it's 7 to 8 weeks with the broken hand. I mean, a guy that was signed as a right fielder, and now he's nearly a Gold Glove shortstop. And they got a great team, but, I mean, that's their dude.
Yep. Here's the deal. Absolutely, yes. I think they're going to be fine because they figure out ways, but Mookie Betts is a really, really, really tough guy to lose. I feel like their shortstop position is just cursed, right? Like, you play in the middle infield and you're just cursed as a Dodger. Look at Gavin Lux and Corey Seager hurting his back. Wow. You just are like, gosh, dang it. So why'd you put Mookie there, though? He's your best option. But, yeah, not fun. Not fun at all.
Still funny to think about the idea of a curse on the Dodgers, but you might be right about
that. A curse
that.
on the Dodgers.
You might be right about that. Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Thanks for hopping on. Always appreciate you.
Guys, thank you. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Alyssa.
It's Alyssa Orange with us every Tuesday from Pig Trail Nation here on Halftime. Hey, make sure you get over to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. Enter for your chance to win a $2,000 retail fireworks show brought to you by Chris Brewer at USA Fireworks. They've been in business more than 30 years, helping Arkansans enjoy the holiday year after year, and you can get a free retail fireworks show worth $2,000 if you enter to win at hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. You can also learn about what USA Fireworks provides for their shows by going online, usafireworks.org. And stay with Halftime. We'll be back right after this quick break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
One of my favorite compliments we get here at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep is when people talk about our laid-back atmosphere. We call it a family atmosphere, but don't be mistaken. That doesn't mean we're not going to work really hard for your business. That's why I've instructed my team to give 20% more for your trade and up to $5,000 extra. On top of our already discounts, that some of them are double the rebate. So if you want a great deal on a new Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep, make that beautiful drive or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
During Make This the Summer event.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
This is Halftime.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Celebrate freedom and a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come closer wherever you are. We're not living on that. Come closer, ready to drive. Russian light fills the air. Another kiss, another come up in here. Or blue, whatever I do. Gone before I open your eyes. Pink light on the window wall. First time in my life. It's your body on the way to the other. April of the pride.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime here. Let's talk with C Psycho because did you pay for the movie? Did you to rent the American Psycho for your halftime homework?
No, I did not pay for it.
Where'd you watch it?
Some website that
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of thing to get you in trouble if you let it out?
I should have just bought you a copy of my DVD. Yeah.
I'll tell you guys. I don't know if I should say it on the air.
Okay. Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. He's got some sort of jailbreak. Is it jailbreaked or jailbroken? It should be jailbroken. Sort of a drive that did it for you. Well, it's coming. American Psycho is coming onto Netflix on July the 1st. So I may end up, if I don't get this website information from you, which sounds like it could actually be a lucrative thing to give out a password for it, I might wait a couple of weeks to put it up on my Netflix. And there it is. I said they got the little banner is is of your boy Christian Bale, Matt, wearing his Viz Queen suit.
Yeah.
With the hood. It looks like he's getting ready to paint, but we know he's not really
What are all
about
these
to paint.
papers for down here, man? You got like a chow or something?
So is it legitimate to say that this movie is like it's kind of, I mean, I remember watching this probably like 15, 16 years ago. I don't think I've seen it since. And it was a surreal movie, almost like an acid trip sort of a movie, almost like The Wall.
Like a Requiem for a Dream type,
Yes.
almost. Like, whoa, yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. The last 20 minutes of it, I don't remember what happened in it, but I remember thinking, it's like, my God, this movie just took a very weird turn, and it was weird before this. It didn't turn me off. I was completely entertained by it. See Psycho, let's hear your review.
Well, man, where do I begin? The guy is psycho for one.
He takes care of himself.
And he's American.
Yeah, and it's just the way he kind of goes crazy there whenever he's in the bed with that girl, and like he bites her or whatever, and then he chases the one girl with the chainsaw, and it's like, the first thing I was thinking was like, how is nobody hearing him right now? Like, how is nobody alarmed by this? But I guess he took him to a like completely empty hotel because no one.
Well,
I mean, he ran through the stairs.
It's all made up in his mind is why nobody's there. That's
really.
That's why did you make it to the ATM where he's like feed the cat to the ATM?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's why the whole thing when it all it's just like yeah.
Oh, there was a twist. I guess I just didn't catch on to that.
The ATM like flash something out there about like I want to
feed me the cat.
That's what it said.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah. But it's just like a love for materialism. It's the showing how the wrong. It's pretty when you look at it, it's kind of got a little Train Spotting too, where they're like choose life. In Train Spotting, it's kind of the, you learn about all the Oliver Peoples, Louis Vuitton, all the stuff. Is that really the stuff you're supposed to be learning about?
All right. Chris in Springdale says American Psycho is weird on a level with Eyes Wide Shut.
Never saw Eyes Wide Shut.
I think they came out the same year.
One.
That's I think that's a movie that came out in 2000. Yeah, but it's legitimate to call this a period piece potentially. 1987 had all the feelings of what 1987 would have felt.
Oh, and he just killed the homeless guy. I was like, what the heck? Or the guy sitting on the ground.
Yeah, he's like, get a job.
And the dog.
Take a shower.
Killed the dog too.
And this was
killed the dog.
Was this the start of Christian Bale? Was this the movie that kind of got him out there and got him somewhat popular? Because I don't remember much about him until then.
I read something where Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to play the part, and then the guy wanted Christian Bale, I guess.
Christian Bale was in Empire of the Sun. That's right.
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
That's a movie from 1987. That's a Spielberg movie about World War II, and then later he's in a movie that takes place in 1987. Interesting.
Saw the Twin Towers in the movie.
Wow, that's right. What year were you born? See Psycho?
95.
95. So you lived in a time where there were real Twin Towers. I got up to the top of those a couple times. You'd mentioned Train Spotting there. Now, I wonder if that could be a movie that...
Absolutely. That's such a good one. Train Spotting. Then they did T2, which it's pretty cool.
I didn't see the sequel.
You got to, because it's not a letdown. Like when you watch it, you're like, you know what? Johnny Lee Miller, just absolutely crushes it. Who is that? Ewan McGregor.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Both of those, yes.
And it has one of the more gross scenes in dating history. Sleeps over at the house, remember?
Oh,
Having a little stomach issue in bed.
They have one of those in American Psycho too. He's like, I don't know why you can't get this cranberry juice out of the sheets. They really are the best in town, No, what next Saturday? Nope, can't have a meeting with Bill Huxtable.
Rob's asked, is it like a Clockwork Orange weird? Yeah, I think it would be. It's almost, and that actually works too. That works too because that's Kubrick. Kubrick was the director of A Clockwork Orange, also the director of Eyes Wide Shut. Kind of funny, Full Metal Jacket and all these movies. That's not one that felt like like a surreal, like you're living inside an M.C. Escher painting or something. But yes, A Clockwork Orange felt like that. Eyes Wide Shut feels like that. And absolutely, American Psycho feels like that too. Hogwild tells us that Christian Bale, Leo DiCaprio, and Joaquin Phoenix competed for all sorts of roles coming up as teenagers in the early to mid-90s.
Now, I could see Joaquin Phoenix playing Patrick Bateman, just like you could see Christian Bale playing in Gladiator.
I don't know if I could see DiCaprio playing
I don't
that.
see DiCaprio playing that either.
And
I really don't.
love DiCaprio.
Absolutely.
He's a fabulous actor. I just don't see that.
Not then. Now he's kind of trying to play a little more grimy stuff and trying to do stuff. But yeah.
Might have been able to. You know what though? I mean, how good was he in Django? When he plays the awful, the absolutely horrendous, awful
we'll have
plantation
White
owner.
Cake. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe he could have translated to that because that's as dislikable as a character as I've ever seen before. Maybe it could have worked. Tyler wants There Will Be Blood.
Seen it. It's amazing. It's one of those that should be on the list. Daniel Day-Lewis just absolutely crushes it.
That's about finding oil in West Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that one yet.
And then, one of the, how accidents happen, one of the guys gets, something, an accident happens and he passes on the oil rig. And so his son's sitting there. And so that's the guy that ends up being Daniel Day-Lewis's son, as the movie keeps going on. He has hearing ability, can't talk that well. And it's pretty good. Yeah.
I have a feeling it's if you liked American Psycho, and I think we could keep it around the same era, I think Trainspotting would be a pretty good assignment for this weekend for Sea Psycho.
I'm excited.
It'd be Sea Spotting for this weekend.
I think I'm liking this genre, the crazy,
You'll like Trainspotting. Paul Dano's who I was thinking of in There Will Be Blood. He's a G as well.
It's not really like crazy, murderous psychopaths in Trainspotting. It's just a bunch of people addicted to heroin.
And then it's a buddy that you think they're buddies. They're supposed to be four buddies, and then one of them,
For someone who doesn't do drugs,
the other one.
Hardly, at all. Never in my life I've done.
Well, there's always time to start.
I do like movies about cocaine and marijuana. I don't know why. It's just so interesting.
Has he seen Blow?
Johnny Depp?
Ray Herman?
Ray Liotta?
Anything cartel related? Yeah.
We're going to ruin you by the time you're done with this show, okay? Sea Psycho, whatever it is you're going to be
That's
called.
one of the best lines ever when he's in there and Pee Wee Herman's character's like, if you weren't friends with Barba, I would never speak to you.
If he could have just dropped in at one point of that movie, just one... It's just been awesome. That would have been a lot of fun. All right, we got to come back in just a moment. We'll wrap up hour number 2 after this quick break on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Hi there, I'm Sarah, and I just had to share my experience with Mosquito Joe. See, I used to dread spending time outdoors because of those pesky mosquitoes. They would always find me and ruin the fun. I would soak my daughter with bug spray, which hardly ever worked. It was awful. I finally called Mosquito Joe, and wow, it has been quite a game changer. They implemented an eco-friendly mosquito control plan customized especially for my yard. Now I can enjoy my backyard without constantly swatting at bugs and reapplying bug spray every 10 minutes. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We're shaking and lazy. We're riding up in the clouds tonight. We dive to the bottom of the ocean. We're a yellow submarine that rolls us deep into the night. While I'm thinking ahead, I haven't been to bed. 'Cause that little thing came and took me away. She got them honey bones and tears melting me down. She moves across the floor, my heart falls heavy to the ground, baby.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, as we wrap up hour number 2, just a few things I wanted to hit on before we get into the third hour. We'll have Bill King in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Arkansas losing Jason Jones into the transfer portal. A very talented outfielder, came as an infielder from Texas and never panned out over a couple of years. He's got all the ability in the world, put on the best batting practice maybe on the entire team. Just very rarely took it to the game. A lot of swing and miss in Jason Jones, but I thought this would be a season, hopefully, that he would have been able to break out. He was one of the ifs for me this year for this team. If he was able to, I think, even realize half his potential, I think he would have been the everyday left fielder, but just too many swings and misses. He struck out in nearly 35% of his at-bats in 2 years at Arkansas, batting under 200, and so he's gone into the portal, and we'll see what happens with him. That's a kid that I wondered if there might be like in a third year, a second half Chad Spanberger season for him, because Spanberger was a guy who was very much like Jones, all the talent in the world, tons of swing and miss, and couldn't put it together until about halfway through his third season. And then when he did, wow, he really did put it together. But we'll See if it happens with Jason. It just appears it won't be happening at Arkansas. And I don't know if I'd say like writing on the wall or whatever, but they did get a couple of outfielders already out of the portal from Division I, got a couple of other outfielders from junior college, and I think it'd be tough for Jason to break through because he had a couple of years to break through and it didn't happen.
We wish him nothing but luck, man. Wish him nothing but the best. It sounds like he has talent. Where do you think, I always ask this question. We had, was it Orlando Green left, and when Rocket gets in the portal, KJ, where do you think he goes to another SEC school, or do you think he goes somewhere else?
Matt, I'd be surprised if he doesn't land in a power conference for baseball, an ACC, a Big 12, maybe even an SEC team. I mean, he's a kid from Texas. He'd have been recruited by the Texas schools. He would have been recruited by LSU. So I wonder if they'll give him a shot. It's just, somebody had asked about the numbers with these guys that are coming to Arkansas from the Horizon League and from the A-Sun. Will that translate to the SEC? Well, here's a batter that's had 2 years playing against either SEC teams, or in most cases, he played against the non-conference teams and wasn't able to put it together. So to me, those numbers already translate to a conference like the Southeastern Conference. But he's a good kid. He tried as hard as he absolutely could. And to me, it's an example of just how difficult the game of baseball is, because there's a very good, in an alternate reality, Jason Jones was a first-round pick coming out of high school. All right, we get into hour number 3 of halftime. It'll be Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 20 minutes. And other than that, it is you and us. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on our McLarty Daniel hotline. And hatline. I don't know if they sell hats at McLarty Daniel. It's just vehicles. I got the hats, and we'll be back right after this.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, gutters, or metal roofing, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. We will see a chance of a few showers or storms or high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy and overnight low in the upper 60s. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, a high right around 85. And then Thursday, partly cloudy, highs near 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 72 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime. 1 minute after 1 o'clock on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Christian Johnston producing. Maybe the only time we refer to you as your full name, Sea Psycho. We've got 1 hour to go. We got Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 15 minutes. So if you want to get with us, now's the time, or maybe about 30 minutes or so. And Matt, what's going on in the Euro 2024?
Oh, you have Turkey. Turkey's going against Georgia, which these are just two teams that, you know.
They don't really talk like that in that Georgia, do
Georgia. 3-1 there. Portugal, they play next, so that's Ronaldo. I mean, Portugal, really, I think they're the sixth best team, maybe fifth. England's, they got Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield, and it's like, all right, guys, why are we trying to overthink everything? So they're front four, they're front five though. OMG, England's just as good as anybody at a couple spots. They're a little light. Portugal, talent wise, man, they got it. They got, I mean, every little spot you can ask for. They got players everywhere, and I think that what's going to be interesting, Phil, is how CR7, meaning Cristiano Ronaldo, is used. And I really believe I would use him as a super sub. He's like LeBron James now, like. 23 minutes he can give you, and he can be the best, but he cannot give you 80 minutes. He can't give you 90. So it's, do you start him? Do you bring him on in the second half? I think just that's what I would do as far as use him as a sub. But, yeah, man, it's getting heated up. I think this is day 5, day 6, so it's still pool play, but lots of golf left.
What happened to your boy Donatello? Mbappe. So he got a broken nose. He may have to miss their next match.
You know, when you mess with those Eastern European bloc countries in soccer, there's one thing they're tough, they're resilient.
Do they play elbows up soccer? Is that a term?
They will cut you. They're vicious. Yeah, I mean Austria is who they played, and Austria is a team that's a B+ team. Like, Austria doesn't have the talent to beat Spain or Italy or Germany, but man, you put them, that they can very easily hold to France to an 0-1, but they're a tough out. They're like the Minnesota Timberwolves. They can't win it all, but man, they're going to be a tough out for somebody.
Isn't there a VAR system that's utilized for figuring out offside in professional soccer? Do they use this in the international tournaments too?
I think they use VAR in the Euros. Absolutely.
Do they use that to also determine whether or not the ball broke the plane of the goal line?
Yeah, they have the Usually the official has a watch on. He has his earpiece in. You have your other guys running up down the side, but you have a 3-man crew. They usually always show to it, and they talk on the earpiece. That's why I don't understand basketball. All these, they have somebody else looking at it, and they tell him what it is, and it saves the whole thing. But they got people just the whole time doing it because you want to get it right. That's the main thing. But yeah, the ball in American sports, if the ball touches the line, it's out. In soccer, the whole ball has to go over the line, either the out of bounds or to be a goal. So that's pretty cool too.
There's no challenge system too. I mean, when it comes to a review, this VAR, like you're saying, it's an official.
They're all challenged upstairs.
The eye in the sky. It's not a matter of down on the field. Somebody's got to throw a flag or ask for a review, which is basically what we do here. And I bring it up because I just saw where Major League Baseball is now going to impose, starting next week, June 25th, at AAA, automatic ball strike challenge system for every AAA game for the remainder of the year. So what that is that's the human element mixed with the challenge for an automatic ball or strike. So you'll have the human umpires, and they've been utilizing at times challenge system or the situation where it's just the umpire's behind the plate and he's told through an earpiece by a voice whether or not the pitch was in the zone or not. In this case, it's a challenge, and you see some replays of this. Maybe you've seen where the batter takes a pitch, touches the top of his head, and the umpire immediately turns up to the press box, does the same hand motion on the top of his head, and then in about 5 to 10 seconds, or even less than that, he is told in his earpiece whether or not he got the call correct or wrong, and then it's changed or not changed based upon that. That's what they're implementing in Major League Baseball's AAA for now, which tells me if they've now settled on this, and I guess this is also something that managers, players have said they prefer the challenge system to a full automatic ball strike system. So this eventually, Matt, I think is going to be the way that balls and strikes are called in Major League Baseball. Because if they're doing it at AAA and it's been a slow creep to get to this point, I think they've been utilizing some aspect of either half season or full season automatic ball strike for a couple of years, maybe 3 years. It looks like, I think they said in this article I see on ESPN, 2026 would be the earliest that this could be implemented in Major League Baseball. And 61% of team personnel, the fans want the challenge system, and then some people still just want the humans making the calls with no challenge at all. I actually like this idea. I do like this idea, and I would love the idea of let's get it right all the time. But there's something about, as much as I'd like to think that an automatic ball strike zone is exactly the way you got to go because every pitch that crosses wherever deserves to be called wherever, I still believe in that human element. I still do. And I don't know how many challenges a team gets, if it's or if by the time you get to the ninth inning, you get another challenge, just like you do now, but on other plays that aren't balls and strikes. I mean, this is the first thing, Matt. This is really amazing because, I mean, the quickest thing that can get you ejected from a baseball game is arguing about balls and strikes. It's right there in the rule book. You're not allowed to argue balls and strikes. You can argue plays at the base. You can argue tag. You can argue whether a ball was fair or foul. But now all of that's reviewed. All of that is reviewed. And now the one thing, there's other things that get people ejected now, but really the one thing that everybody argues about more than anything else is going to have some form of challenge. And I like this. I do like the mix of the human element with the automatic ball strike at the same time.
Yeah, I like the human element as well. They missed some calls. They missed a corner kick here or there, but similar to that, I guess balls and strikes, Phil. If you're a soccer player and you get fouled and you go down and you get up to the ref and you start motioning, take out a card, they're supposed to give you a card. Really? You're not supposed to tell, like the same, you're not supposed to touch them, or you're not supposed, there's certain things you're supposed to let them do their job and all that. So, yeah, but these players aren't perfect. I don't think anything else in the game. Don't start making it have to be. It's. I get it. There is a little bit of human error with it, But I don't want to see it go automated. I really don't.
Now I wonder if at some point, when you talk about VAR, video assisted review, right? So what I see when you watch on tennis, where this is utilized, or when I've seen them utilize it in the World Cup, it's computer based. I wonder if at some point we get to where the NFL utilizes this too for first downs. You know, they talk about maybe putting a chip in the ball, but I wonder if that actually would work properly. Maybe that's the next area, because we already have challenges. I mean, you can challenge almost anything, I guess, in the NFL. I wonder if the NFL would need a VAR system, but I think baseball does. That's the one thing that everybody argues about, and I think it'll be great. Now, you know what they can't, one thing that you can't review, and I guess this would be the one thing that you would never really be able to review then. It's the call that everybody is up in arms about from the Florida State-Tennessee game, the check swing. Nobody reviews that. That'll be like the one thing left is the check swing, which in the rule book, it does not detail what a swing is and what a swing is not. It literally leaves it up to the umpire's discretion. And I know that strike zones are supposed to be fully defined by the actual rule book, but let's be honest about this. Every umpire's got his own strike zone. But the check swing will be the one thing left that won't be reviewed in baseball at that point. Which I don't know how you can review it, honestly. If it's up to somebody's description of what a swing is, if it's not actually there in the rule book, break the wrist or the bat goes over the plate or whatever, I mean, there's nothing to review then.
Yeah, when they slow that down, it doesn't really give the hitter any hope too. Like if he goes at all when they on the slow motion replay, it almost always looks like there's intent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's so difficult to figure out intent quick time, like as it's happening. We look at the replay, but I remember watching the game on Friday and thinking on first glance, I was like, well, that looked like a swing, but I'm looking at it from behind center field. Can't tell from behind center field. Third base umpire. I think the plate umpire has a better idea than the base umpire does, but we still go to the base umpires. All right, we got a break here. We'll be joined by Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in just a moment on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, so don't go anywhere.
This is halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season.
every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video.
Love, he can make you cry. He will bring you down. He'll get you high. Something keeps him going miles and miles a day to find another place to play. Night after night, we treat you right, baby, it's the guitar man. Who's on the radio, you don't listen to the guitar man. Then he comes to town, and you play. And you think you might like to take his place. So
make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Guests join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Bill King with us from Nashville Sports Radio, hosting 6 to 9 WNSR, the king of college football talk. And a huge fan of college baseball as well. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Doing good.
Good. So it's going to be could be an all-SEC affair in the championship series once again. I don't see any way that it's not going to be. Tennessee right now looks, if they were going to lose, they were going to lose in Friday's game to Florida State on that check swing. Didn't happen. A&M and Kentucky, I think, is going to be what you're looking at in the finals on their side. So it's kind of the way a lot of SEC baseball fans thought this thing would work out.
It's sitting there right for Tony Vitello to take. He's just got to finish it.
What does that do if they win a championship there? I don't think he leaves Tennessee for Texas or anywhere else for that matter. But LSU didn't really do much in baseball until Skip Bertman got there, and then they turned into the beasts of college baseball. There's some vibes of what's going on there in Knoxville that feels the same way.
He's already arguably the best talent evaluator / recruiter because the stars develop, but the guys that weren't the big name players in recruiting also develop. It's amazing his touch there. And if he's now selling a national championship, and I believe their class, now again, who gets campus we all know that's iffy. But I think it's ranked number 1 and number 2 by perfect game. But if he's now selling a natty, and they're going to have to replace basically their entire lineup. They're all gone. God knows what he'll do in the portal. Now, I don't think he can be real active right now because he's trying to win some ball games, but no telling what he'll unleash if he's got a national championship to sell.
Did you see what? And I don't know what collective is doing this with Tennessee. But people who love to make a big deal about the Jello shot challenge, and it's $5 for a Jello shot. I saw where there's a collective at Tennessee that is charging $10 for the shot, $5 going to the bar, $5 going to the NIL collective. And I would just imagine that there's a lot of Tennessee fans that don't mind paying double for a Jello shot.
That is the Spires group, and they call it the Volunteer something, but their collective is the Spires group, and it's considered one of the biggest, whatever that's supposed to mean. And they're the ones that supposedly are paying Nico Iamaleava $8 million. So they're up to something. They're always up to something, it seems like.
Bill, you got Florida State, North Carolina right now, then Kentucky and Florida later on this afternoon. Who wins these 2 games?
I like Florida State, and I think I like Kentucky. But Florida's kind of got that Ole Miss thing going from 2 years ago. Now, I know they're a much bigger branded program than Ole Miss, but they're pesky right now. Now, Cags, it looks like Cags is throwing his last pitch. Y'all was probably checking that out last night, right?
Yeah, he was rubbing his elbow.
But his game, but his game is hitting the ball, and he had a home run after that. So obviously that's not an issue. But I probably like Kentucky slightly and Florida State.
Caglione's such a great hitter. I don't think he needs 2 arms to swing a bat and hit a home run. He could probably do it with one. He could do it with one. Hey, we brought this up yesterday. We'll get into college football here. Where Les Miles has now sued LSU. But I thought, LSU vacates these 37 wins, but I don't think they had a choice. Like, they were forced to by the NCAA, and I don't know, maybe thought suing the NCAA was just a little bit overdone these days. But that also goes, I was looking at this, like Miles' winning percentage now is maybe 1 percentage point ahead of Mike Leach. You'd be like, okay, well, I think Leach, even though he doesn't have the 60% winning percentage, like, can't there be a category like you have in the NFL for guys who invented something that caught fire and influential coaches? It just seems to me that Leach kind of belongs in there.
Man, I like him because he worked on my channel, so I'm very biased. But I think he's brilliant, one of the brilliant offensive minds of this era. And I think the fans of LSU ought to sue Les Miles for not having an offensive game plan in the 2011 national championship game. That's the sorriest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I knew I'd get something good bringing Miles up about that. And it's also like, okay, well, he could also sue himself for taking the Kansas job and thinking that might work there.
Yeah. Anyway, you remember the post-game, Bobby Hebert, famous quarterback. He's part of the media, and he's grilling Les Miles about what the heck that offensive game plan was. It was so fun.
Now, he came from Oklahoma State, right? And was he not he was there before Gundy got there, but did he not have, I thought that was supposed to be part of his MO, but it just seemed, I'm with you though. That was a hard game to watch. It was like a 9-6 type of game.
Well, that was the first game they played, and they won that one. But, nobody got anything done. In the second game, they looked like they were scared of Alabama's defense. They didn't want to do anything. But, he did a good job at Oklahoma State. He really did. Got the LSU job out of it. Won the craziest year we've had in modern history, if not ever, 2007. They won the national championship with 2 losses. Lost late to Arkansas and Kentucky. And still won the national championship. And that 2011 team was an epic talent team. I mean, a ridiculously gifted team. But nonetheless, he's not real popular over there. I can tell you that. I can promise you that.
You got this early matchup. I've already heard it talked about on a couple national media outlets. But Georgia going to Austin to play Texas, I believe, week 2 of the college football season. Is that the best game that's in the first couple weeks?
I think that game's later. That Clemson Georgia game's early. Yeah, but your point is Georgia's got to play Clemson. They've got Alabama on the road. They've got Ole Miss on the road, and they got Texas on the road. And couple this with the stat, they haven't lost a regular season game since 2020, the Florida game. That's probably not going to last with that. And they may be the best team in the country. I think they are, but there's no way you're going to run that schedule. I don't think.
Which Texas school wins more games this year, A&M or Texas?
It's a better question than I would have perhaps entertained a year ago, but Texas is still a better team. And I think A&M is going to be very good. And I don't know if I want to call them underrated because we know what the Aggies are capable of if they're well coached. But I think you have to go with Texas, right?
Is there anywhere that you think Texas is vulnerable coming into this season, a position group that might stand out, and where do you think they're strongest?
Not really. Now, I'm not saying they're loaded at every position, but I don't see a issue that for example, Ohio State. That offensive line has not been what it needs to be, and I don't think going into this year with all the talent they have and they're loaded, I still think that's a question mark. I don't know if I have maybe replenishing those receivers, but they've recruited so well and they've portaled so well. I just don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, their D lineman. I know they had that one go. What was it, to Seattle late? I thought he was probably the best defensive player, one of the best in the draft. So, but like you said, they got guys in waiting.
I don't think D line will be a problem. They had the best tackle other than Michigan. They had the best tackle duo, D tackle duo in the country. Up the middle, the old strength up the middle in sports. They had all of that last year. I can't really pick one out. I mean, if Ewers goes down, Arch Manning's waiting, and he's been marinating for a little while now, so he's probably ready. I don't think that's an issue.
What about if Beck goes down to Georgia? I remember they got we were even bringing him up, Rashada.
Jaden Rashada.
Is he expected to back up, or does he have to fight for that position?
Their backup at the moment is a kid that, remember, they were beating Florida State so bad that they didn't even play Carson Beck in the second half of their bowl game. And that's the young man who right now would be number 2. If Rashada comes in, remember, he's got to learn everything. He wasn't there in the spring. So he's got to learn everything. And he could eventually be the number 2. Heck, he might be competing for the number 1 after Beck's gone. But right now it'd be the kid that they played in the bowl game who's a sophomore.
Last year during the season, Bill, you were one of the first kind of to talk about Washington and how good they were going to be. I think at TCU the year before, Washington last year making the move. Who's a team that's kind of under the radar right now that you could see that ends up being, I guess now you just got to be in the playoff 12?
I don't know if I've got one in that category. Washington wasn't really under the radar for me. I didn't necessarily say they'd be in the championship game, but I knew they would be a big threat. That part did not surprise me. I don't think Ole Miss is a surprise because it's the best Ole Miss roster I've seen in my lifetime. That's not going to be I think a surprise would be if they let us down, which it's hard to live up to that kind of hype. That one will be interesting. I don't know if I see another TCU looming at the moment, kind of the perfect storm. I just don't know if I see one.
Would Penn State be a surprise, or they've just kind of been on the cusp lately?
No, they wouldn't be a surprise. Yeah. They're top 10.
Yeah,
they're top 10 good. They just can't beat Ohio State and Michigan, and that's where it's starting to get a little tippy up there. Now, they should beat Michigan this year. Michigan is going to have to completely redo their offense. They're going to be stout again on defense, but their offense is going to be shaky. And Penn State has no business losing that game. You know what, guys? Maybe they don't play. I thought, anyways, but they need to win those 2 marquee games for sure.
Bill, you saw this. I don't know if you saw it, Matt. This is a kind of crazy story. that a bunch of Colorado Buffalo players decided to leave the program, enter the transfer portal because Deion Sanders made a Lil Wayne concert mandatory that was at their spring game because Shedeur was going to get up on stage and perform his single. And it was mandatory for the players to be there. And it's like they start to figure out. I wonder how long it takes before you figure out that this whole Colorado thing is a spotlight for Shedeur Sanders. That's how it comes across.
It's 8U Little League daddy ball, right? My kid's going to pitch. He's going to play shortstop. He's going to hit first. Now, Shedeur Sanders is a heck of a prospect, so I'm not trying to make it sound like they're playing a guy just because it's daddy, but he's really not any good. That kid's probably a first-round draft pick. But the whole premise of daddy ball is true. If any of you have had kids and gone through that, every league in every city in America experiences daddy ball, and that's what that is.
Yeah, I was coached by my pops at a younger age, and always said, I have to be harder on you than everybody else out there. But and it doesn't look like Deion's doing that. Deion needs to be. You have to set the example when that's the type of relationship, because everybody's looking at that, and being the quarterback, and jealousy starts to happen.
No doubt about it. Now, it just so happened you were good, though. So even if it was daddy ball, it worked out well.
Well, what ends up happening in those situations is that it isn't necessarily the kid's fault, but he becomes a villain in a lot of people's eyes. You just people start rooting against you, and it's look. I wasn't convinced that the Deion Sanders thing would work at Colorado. I'm still not convinced it will, and all of this it just kind of echoes to me that there's no way that this will work, and I almost. I don't feel bad for Shedeur because he's grown up privileged and he's incredibly talented. He's going to have a great career, but it's not necessarily his fault that people are going to be rooting against him.
He's making a couple of million a year in name, image, likeness money. He's driving a Bentley or something. He's doing fine.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for people to.
Does him and Travis Hunter make it through the entire season? That's what's going to be. You have a couple losses, something happens, they start packing it up. How many games do you really get out of those two guys?
So I just wonder how many linemen on that rebuilt offensive line decided to leave because they had to go to this concert.
Well, and Travis Hunter, as spectacular as he is, no denial, is very slight. He may be 170 pounds, and you worry about that. And are you going to play him at corner every down and receiver? That's rough.
Was it a ruptured spleen last year? It was a kidney injury? I forget which one it was, but it was one of those two.
Right.
I just wondered if you can. You're right, Matt. You wonder if you can make it through. Hey, Bill, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
It's fun to listen to Bill's show, too, during commercial breaks of the morning rush. It's on WNSR radio, and I usually listen through the TuneIn app. Hey, also, don't forget about Bet Saracen. Tonight is potentially the last game of the NHL final, the Stanley Cup Finals. We got to go with the actual term for it. College World Series in full swing, and all kinds of Major League Baseball prop bets, but you can also get in your preseason props for college football, for the NFL, and man, you want to get in on those right now, because when the odds end up changing, it could be in your favor. You can sell those bets on BetSwap, which is right there on your Bet Saracen app. Use it on your Apple iPhone. Download from the App Store. Works on Android from Google Play. You can go to any web browser, betsaracen.com. We're in the home stretch of halftime. Calls and texts come in on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The ink is black, the page is white. Together we learn to read and write. The child is black, the child is white. The whole world looks on the side, a beautiful side. Now we try to sing the Lord.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, they will be having a championship parade in downtown Boston, and they will be using, of course, the duck boats, which I think they use that for all. I think they've used that for at least most of, if not all, of the Patriots parades, Red Sox parades. And the first time I ever went on a duck boat, it was in Boston too. So that seems to fit pretty well.
You think they take the same route?
I don't know the route that they took. I don't know why you wouldn't take the same route that the Patriots took.
They got that mapped out, I guess. I mean, they've been doing that a lot, and that's the Bruins. I mean, it's just what 2008 is that the last Celtics?
That's the last Celtics.
Yeah, so it's not that long ago.
It's all in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
that every team in Boston, every major team in Boston, has won a championship, and I can't think of another city where that's happened. So, and I owe my aunt and uncle a text. Maybe a phone call, congratulatory phone call, because they're dyed-in-the-wool Celtics fans. Now, you know, my family initially is from New York. My mother and my aunt grew up in Queens, but my aunt went to school at Boston University and then did her grad school at BC. So she's lived in Boston for probably been 60 years or so. And when she was making virtually no money at all, and I don't know what season tickets cost back then, but this would have been the early 80s. She got season tickets to the Celtics at the Garden, and that's in the heyday. And so, I mean, she's the only reason why I really did end up rooting for the Celtics as a kid. So I couldn't. It was impossible though for me to take my kid rooting interest from the '80s and translate it to 2024. I couldn't feel that way about it. Plus, I think Boston's won enough championships, so. I would say get back to the heartbreak. Get back to the, 94, 95 years of curses, and certainly appreciate those things much more. But I don't know, Matt. I don't know. The way the Celtics look this year, they may be doing this again in a year or two.
They looked poised. The Father Time, that's the one thing. I think they have all their stars locked up as far as Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown, and then they got Tatum this year. He's going to get the $300 million. So, yeah, that's the core. That's your 4 core, and then you got to pick and Kristoff and however they're going to do. They could use another big. That's for sure.
Did I say 20 years or 30 years? David in Fort Smith texts in the Cowboys won. The Cowboys, of course, would have been 95 the last season. They won a Super Bowl 95. That's not the last 20 years, but that is the last 30 years. I meant the last 20 years. But, yeah, they definitely did. They definitely have won in the last 30 years. Stars, yeah, they've won, there's, I think, 1 cup. Mavs won once. Rangers won last year. And the Cowboys, but we're looking at 20 years. I think it's only Boston,
and UConn.
It's like Colorado, I think, like Denver. They got Super Bowls. They've got an NBA championship. They got a Stanley Cup. They don't have a World Series championship. They've been to one. They were in the 2007 series. I was there. That's going to be a tough place to win it, to win a World Series. That'd be one of the places that if I'm a pitcher. And I think the Rockies are picking top 10 again. I was like, please, not there, anywhere but there. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the Celtics roster, and it's just, I mean, you got Horford, who's 38, Drew Holiday, 34. He's got some time left, though. He's got plenty of time left. It's not a team that looks like it's going to age poorly. You know, Porzingis will undergo, I think his surgery is today, so I'm assuming he'll be healthy and ready to go whenever they want him to start getting back out there in October or maybe November. And Horford's the only guy that might leave. I don't think they have many draft picks, or at least first-round picks, because they've traded a lot of those away to get the team that they've got. But I don't know if they need much in the draft right now.
You know what's exciting, Phil, is Jordan Walsh sitting there having a front row seat. He was there, and he's a guy that you see when you're watching them switch things on defense. How skilled he. I mean, he's only going to get better. You know, we saw he was a baby at Arkansas. I think he's a guy that fits in that mold, kind of like a. I don't think he's Andre Iguodala. I don't think he's that good, but he can be. You know, he has potential to be a defensive stopper, and I think that's why Boston got him is because his ability on the defensive end works on his shot. I mean, you could see Jordan Walsh playing some minutes. I don't know if it's next year, but if they're going to make this run like we think they could for the next 5 years, Jordan Walsh be a piece of it.
He's the youngest player on the team.
He's got upside.
20 years old.
Yeah, he's talented. There's no question about it.
What an experience, though, too. I mean,
how crazy, huh?
Yeah, front row seat. You maybe playing the scout team in some cases against these guys, and playing for a great coach, a great system, a great sports city. I know the team that he was playing for previously was in Maine, so everybody up there is a Celtics fan. New Englanders just I think they all root for the teams that are in Boston. Pretty good place to be at the age of 20.
Boston, Miami.
Otherwise, right now he'd be looking for somewhere to go in the transfer portal.
Right? Yeah. No, there's a couple, Boston, Miami, a couple cultures, couple places they do it right. I think Dallas is doing it right. I'm kind of, not that you're worried and not that you don't. You got to tip your hat, man. The Mavericks got it done. They earned the right to represent the Western Conference in the finals. It's I think it's just a harder road. It's going to be it's going to be tougher for them to get back, I think.
All right, so the draft would be next.
June 26th, maybe?
June 26th is the first round, and then the second round is the very next day in New York. You got the Hawks picking first, and their general manager, Landy Field, says that they're fielding calls, but they're planning on keeping the number 1 overall pick. And I think the first player expected to go, and I don't know who it is, but I know he's international.
Another Frenchman.
He's kind of getting used to this now.
The last mock draft, which I can't. We were talking about it a week ago or so. I think somebody asked who the Spurs were going to take, because I like Donovan Clingan to match up with Wemby. I also like Castle from UConn as well. But when I looked at it, I want to say 4 of the first 10 were Euros. I mean, it's very heavy. In the lottery are going to be more Europeans.
877-377-6963 for anything on that. Pirates got another win with Paul Skeens on the mound yesterday, Matt. He threw 6 innings, allowed a run. They are now, I think it's 6-1 in the games that he's pitched. And I had friends at the game yesterday. It's a Monday night. The ballpark was packed in Pittsburgh, so he is as good as advertised.
I was going to say, what's the race for Rookie of the Year, Phil? He's got to be on the short list, right?
He would have to be.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough research to know about some of the others. I think I got to check on the shortstop for Baltimore, whether or not he's a rookie or not, because he's having a big-time year, too. Gunnar Henderson. He was Rookie of the Year last year. That's why. Okay. But I think he'd have to be on the short list here. I mean, he's going to be pitching a full season as long as he's not hurt. They called him up. It's been, I guess, a little more than was it a little less than a month ago? Because I think it was about a month ago is when he came up. Yeah, it's 7 starts, 4-0, 2.29 ERA, and just blowing guys away. With a whip that's under 1. So right now, for me, he's got to be a front runner, but there's probably a few others that are in there having great seasons too. But I always like it when somebody shows up, not only highly touted, and we saw it last year from him too. I mean, he was the best-known college ball player, I think, before he even threw one pitch for LSU, and he was as good as expected there. And heck, I think he may even be pitching better in the major leagues right now, which is absolutely crazy.
Are the Yankees, are they the best team in the American League this year?
They certainly look like it. They certainly do look like it. The Phillies in the National League too, but they're dealing with an injury to JT Realmuto, their catcher. So that's the thing is the teams that are the best, a lot of times they have to find a way to win without their best guys, and that's what organizational depth is all about. Yankees have some of that. Phillies have plenty of it. All right, we got to come back in a quick moment. We'll wrap up halftime right after this break.
This is halftime.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Neuson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Neuson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hole Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It was the 3rd of September. The day I'll always remember. Yes, I will. 'Cause it was the day that my daddy died. I never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Now I'm depending on you. Tell me the truth. Mama just hung her head and said, son, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he left his hat was his home. Only the left us was alone. Oh, Papa was a rolling stone, my son, yeah. Wherever he left his hat was his home. Only the left us was alone.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, what a fun show this amazing Tuesday. Thank you to the guests as always. We had Chuck Barrett We had Alyssa Orange, Bill King. Thanks to the listeners, the texters. Make this show fun. We appreciate everything. Christian, we are here. Portugal. They play the Czech Republic, and they're about to start the match at 2:00. Cristiano Ronaldo, we all know him. Even if you don't even know soccer, he's a Tom Brady, LeBron James type. He's a little long in the tooth, still getting it done, but he got the start. A little surprised because, Christian, in soccer, if you start, once you sub, you can't go back into the game. But, man, you look at the depth that this Portugal side has. Yeah. You look at their starters. Oh, my goodness. I mean, they got 6 starters on the bench.
On paper, there really should be no way the Czech Republic should win that game. That would be like a pretty big upset, right?
Absolutely. Portugal, they won the Euros 2 Euros ago, and so they are perennial favorites. That's in their blood. Portugal is, I would have them about 5th or 6th. I don't know what their FIFA World Ranking is. I know Belgium was 3rd, and I thought Belgium's about 9th. And as you saw them go out, so the world rankings get a little skewed sometimes. But as far as talent wise, Portugal, I don't think there's 5 better teams in the Euros that have more talent than them.
Yeah, it helps when you've got one of the best players in the world, and then obviously countries that produce those caliber players usually have some pretty good players on their team. So
they got a guy, Bruno Fernandes, number 8 for Portugal. Watch him. He's in the midfield at Man United. Bernardo Silva, he's in the midfield at Man City. So is João Cancelo. You got Ruben Diaz and Pepe. They both are.
Pepe, I've heard of Pepe.
Yes, he's an absolute. He's a G. He's older too as well. You got Diogo Jota, who plays for Liverpool. He's on the bench. Pedro Neto. Sorry, he's on the bench as well. Ruben Neves, Jose Za. So João Felix, he plays at Atletico Madrid. These are all players that would be America's best ever player. So you're looking. This is guys that Portugal has on the bench. So this is going to be a fun one. Last game today, going to be fun. Boston Celtics, your NBA champs. C Unit, what you got going on the rest of the day?
Man, I wish I was. Well, I wouldn't be. I wish the Mavs were still in it, but I don't really have a whole lot to watch now on TV. It's just kind of just taking it easy, working. Probably just going to watch the dog and maybe play some video games or just relax this afternoon, man.
Well, that sounds good, man. Good work as always. Big thanks to Phil, and he'll be back tomorrow. We'll have Fisherman Clay Henry for a couple hours tomorrow as well. And fun show today. Everybody be good, and we'll see you around.